spiritual awakenings.
The world is lonely.
Okay, we are
Okay,
recording.
we are recording.
Oh, cool. So this is,
Yeah.
I've been quite excited for this because I've not really done anything like this yet. So this is sort of
Really?
the first time that I've done something like this. Yeah, I did it before with a guy in Germany, but it was a bit different. So this is something I'm excited for. You have to bear in mind that I'm sure it's the same for you, but I
Yeah,
don't get.
I actually did it one time with one guy from the States.
Yeah.
We also went on consciousness and spiritual growth and different ways of growing and all kind of things, right? So, yeah, but I'm getting familiarized with it, right?
Yeah, I think that's the next natural step, because you think about this is just the start. Like, where's this going to go, like in the future?
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know, but it's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
exciting.
I have a few topics. I don't know if you're going to be interested in talking about them, but I wrote a couple down.
Just share it. Just share it. We'll see.
Okay, so you mentioned on Facebook Messenger, because we've been messaging a little bit.
Yeah.
About why we started the YouTube channel. So I'm quite excited to find out why you started yours.
Oh, so this is the story actually. In 2014, I had my first Kundalini awakening. We will go into this too because people may not know what a Kundalini awakening is, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know Infinite Waters.
Yeah. Ralph Smart's.
That guy rocks, right?
Yeah.
He's the master.
He's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, he's the master, man. So I have seen his videos. At first I thought I was going crazy because I had all kind of thoughts, right? And I really didn't know what was going on. But then he offered me the perspective of spiritual awakening. So I was so excited at first, and the Kundalini was going through my body, and I felt so excited. I had so much energy. I was going with the flow, right? So opening a YouTube channel I was inspired from this guy, also Preston Smiles. Do you know him?
I don't know him, no.
Okay, I'll send you a link with his videos. He's great too.
Yeah.
So these guys have inspired me to share my own version of spirituality, right? Of awareness, of going deeper within myself. Yeah.
Did you have any like apprehensions in sharing?
What?
You were a little bit scared to share?
Yeah, I was scared.
Me too.
I was scared. And I was really scared actually because I was still in a dark place when I started this, right? Everything wasn't perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, everything is perfect in a way, but
I understand what
really
you're saying.
perfect, you know? Yeah. Everything is perfect in its imperfection. That's what I like to share. So I was scared, and I started talking in Romanian because I'm Romanian.
Yeah.
While my nationality is Romanian, I am an infinite being, right? So, and now I share in English because I find a better flow in English.
Oh, that's cool.
So it has been around 1 year since I have started my YouTube channel.
Okay, so you've been doing this for a little bit longer than me.
Yeah, I guess.
What
about your story?
Well, that's a good question. Of course, I was naturally very scared to start sharing this stuff because I don't know whether it's the same in Romania, but my friends that I picked up through my life were perhaps not even open to really this idea that, you know.
Everybody thinks you're going crazy when you share this kind of story, right?
Well, so I thought that was going to be the way that it panned out, so I didn't bother telling anyone at all.
What pointed the fact that what made you think that you were actually going through a spiritual awakening and not going crazy or something? What was that pinpoint?
Well, when the Kundalini woke up within me, it was such an instant thing that rose all the way from my root chakra in my spine all the way up to the top of my head, then exploded out in bliss and ecstasy in one moment. And with that,
Wow.
like my negative thinking mind left as well. So in that moment, I knew that something had happened. That it was irrefutable. I was there like, oh my God, this is the best experience of my life. What on earth has happened? So I luckily, I say luckily, but it's probably not, because everything happens for a reason. That's just my view.
Yeah.
I was searching online. I was like searching because I knew something spiritually had happened. Because in my being, I was getting a little bit restless for God. I hope we can use that terminology. I know people don't believe in God, but it's just the words I want to use. I don't believe
Let
in
me
God
let
either,
me
but
let me tell you this. Do you know Michio Kaku, a great physicist?
I do actually, yeah.
He said that there is a God and there is no God. You know, does it make sense for
Yeah,
you?
that does
It
make
makes
sense.
sense for me,
Yeah.
right? There is a higher consciousness and
Yes.
there is this human perspective attached to it.
Yes.
Something like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you totally.
Okay, go on.
So yeah, it was in that moment, it was so clear to me that my life had changed. There was no going back because I couldn't, in 1 second, literally, my life was different.
So it happened instantly, right?
Instantly.
You had instantly? Wow.
Literally.
You're a lucky one. You're a lucky one.
Well, we'll get
So,
into this afterwards because I don't see it as lucky. Because it comes, that version of awakening comes with its own craziness. Afterwards was when I started thinking, oh, holy hell, I'm going crazy here. Because obviously, before the awakening, I was living a normal life, not really happy with my normal life.
Yeah, just going with things. I know what you're saying.
Getting pushed about by life. And then in a moment, my whole life changed. My mind went. I couldn't think anymore. And I was just thrown into this new state of being. And I was like, what the fuck? Excuse my language. Like, what's gone on?
No, it's fine.
So yeah, it was after that when I had no mind left, so to say. Like people say like it's a bad thing, like you're losing your mind, you're going crazy. But I mean, literally, like I lost my mind. I genuinely think that's where that terminology must come from. If somebody's had a Kundalini awakening, like in an instant, they're like, oh my God, scrambling around trying to find their identity.
Well,
that point,
I don't know. Sorry for interrupting you, but I don't know if I'm thinking this from an egoic perspective, but I had my awakening, but I didn't yet have my full-blown Kundalini awakening.
Yeah.
Is this similar to what you have experienced?
So. I think so. Obviously, I don't know because I've only experienced what I've experienced in the same way that you've only experienced. But from what I understand, yeah, it's different in everyone, isn't it? I mean, my teacher would say to me, some people prefer a slower, more gradual build-up, and some people need a kick in the ass from God to throw them into the spiritual arena. And that seems like the way it seems to be. It's different for everyone. I really deeply believe that.
So is it a soul choice to awaken? Does your soul choose this?
That's a good question. I like that.
From what I have read, I think that before birth, and I don't also think that time is linear because it is not.
Yes.
But I think that before birth, which is happening now, right?
Yes. Yeah. Now we sound crazy, don't we, to the outside world?
Yeah. We sound super insane.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Carry on. It's exciting.
I think that we have chosen our parents, we have chosen this life, we have chosen some challenges to experience, but at the same time, we have free will to experience whatever we want to experience, right? So just a second, my phone is... Sorry.
Okay, that's good because that gives me one moment to just wipe my nose really quick because my nose is running.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. I had a tissue. I knew this was going to happen. I came prepared. Okay. So you think that there's a deep feeling within you that before we come into this life, it's already all panned out for us. We've chosen themes to go through.
I think that's perspective. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
certainly
perspective.
perspective. Yeah, and it's one
And
that I
at the
resonate
same
with.
time, I think we still have control of our past experiences, and we can shift somehow the past, right?
Yeah.
We can, with the choices that we make now, which is a bit challenging for me right now to make these choices because I'm still a bit scared or too comfortable sometimes. But I believe that we can change the past. And I have also realized, which is a really cool thing, that I am actually creating the past right now.
Yes.
How sick is that?
It's awesome, really, isn't it? Because when you change yourself in the now, you then need a different past, don't you, to create the person that you are in this moment.
Yes.
So that leads me on then to, you listen to Bashar, don't you?
To what?
Bashar?
Bisha?
Bashar. Do you know Bashar?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. Then I won't talk about that here yet, because maybe that might be too crazy for...
You can explain it, actually, if you want to.
No,
if you think that I would understand.
You would understand, but I'll send a link to you later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the only reason I say that is because I'm sure that I have some friends, genuinely friends from like a few months ago, that maybe wouldn't understand what I would be sharing through Bashar. I'll send you a link. I'm sure you'll know what it is.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. What about past lives and future lives? By the way, guys, this guy has an amazing YouTube channel. It's still growing, but his flow in his videos, I love it. He's really telling the truth, even though there may not be an absolute truth.
No, but
he's really sharing his experience, and he's really helping people with his videos on the dark night of the soul, Kundalini awakening, all kind of
blush,
so man. Follow him.
I'm saying for you, I'm sure we'll leave links, right? We'll leave links down in the
well, if you won't send me the recording, then you can leave the link to my YouTube channel. Whatever, we'll see. Let's just go with the flow. So what about past lives and future lives? I saw that you have a video on that, where you can say that you can access a future life to improve this one.
Well, again, perhaps it depends on what perspective we're coming from. If we're seeing it linearly, then no, we can't access.
It's impossible, yeah.
But if we're seeing it from perhaps a quantum perspective, and this might be too much of a big leap for people. It's just an idea that I'm playing with. It doesn't have to be right for them. And I'm not saying that it is necessarily definitely right, but it is true for me. Because like you say,
right or wrong,
everything happens in the now, right? We cannot escape that fact. Time really is an illusion. So if everything is happening now, for example, when you were 12 and when I was 12, we were different, right? We were smaller, we were more stupid, we were probably playing with toys, and
we're probably smarter, because as a kid I figured that I was really smart. I am still smart now, just you know what I'm saying, man? You know what I'm saying, mate? I'm still smart now.
But when we were children, and when you were just as smart then as you were now in the past, it was still in the feeling of now, wasn't it? We've never left that.
Yeah.
So it would then stand to reason that everything is happening in this feeling of now, and then we could access our past and our future incarnations of ourselves, because they are still experiencing their experience of life in the now.
Yes.
But then really we need to have a look at ourselves and see how deep into the now we want to go, because most of the time we're just living on this surface level of our minds, which isn't really, that's more of like an escape from the now. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
it's hard sometimes to get present. It's really hard, because
I know.
It's so complicated, because all this subconscious that wants to become conscious is coming into your face and saying, look, you got to experience this, you got to experience that, you got to experience this negative, you got to experience that positive. So you can really keep the balance, right? So you can really flow.
Yeah, well,
but
for me,
my past, was really dark. After I had my Kundalini for 1 year, like I told you, it was all bliss. And then I went to college, prove myself, to prove the fact that I'm really smart, you know? And
Hey, I did the same, man. I did the same.
how old are you?
23.
Me too.
Okay,
Nice.
cool.
Are you a Scorpio?
No, somebody else asked me that. Why do I keep getting that? No, I'm not. I'm Aquarius.
Okay, so that's February, right?
Yeah, which is why I wanted to ask you, because I don't know anything about the age of Aquarius, and you mentioned it on.
I don't really know much either. I
Oh,
hope that you know a lot.
I don't.
I
But
think it's
what do you know?
the age of information. As
Yes.
you know, Terence McKenna, right?
He's the DMT guy, right?
Yeah, he's the mushroom and EMT guy. He said that the world is information.
Okay, makes sense.
The world is made of out of words.
Mm.
So everything that we see is like the idea of solipsism, like the mind creates reality. The mind creates reality, and reality somehow is a subjective experience of our mind, right?
Okay.
So in I don't know what kind of tradition they say that in solipsism um, there is no separation.
Yes.
There is no separation between the mind and the outer reality. So in that way, we can connect the whole cosmos as one. Like you said that you have been visited by aliens in your
In my
dream,
dream
right?
last night. Whoa, quick thing, so I don't sound too crazy. In my dream last night, yes. But that was a weird dream. That was really I don't want to interrupt what you're saying. We're going to come back to this in a moment because it's come up, and screw it, why not? But please
The
carry on.
whole point of what I'm saying is that everything is oneness.
Yeah.
We are connected, right? And whenever you're feeling an emotion or a positive thought, you're actually making the whole planet and the whole cosmos experience that, right?
Mm.
So as a collective, we are all one. And I'm not sure if you know the idea of the collective unconscious or the conscious.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me a bit about that? Because I'm so confused. I'm not really sure what it means. So the collective conscious, what is that? Or
So,
unconscious?
well, it's literally what you just said. We are all one, right?
Okay, so whenever we are experiencing something, we allow other people to experience that in a way.
It's more
In a
like
way.
from my perspective, and this is, like I say, just a perspective. From my perspective, the way that I understand the collective unconscious or the collective conscious is that we all share, because we are all one in our essence.
Yeah.
We all share certain similar unconscious traits.
Okay.
So the things perhaps that arise in our consciousness that are perhaps the darker sides of ourselves, that we claim to be ours, I question whether they are really ours, because how can I describe this in a way? Yeah, I mean, I think we give ourselves a hard time because sometimes our dark sides can be pretty dark, right?
Yeah.
And I just don't know whether we all come in, because we all recognize that we all have dark sides, right? We wouldn't choose to have a dark side, would we? Really?
We wouldn't. I mean,
So
maybe we would, right? Because
maybe.
maybe we would, man, because
Maybe.
I don't know, there is duality in like everything.
Yeah.
Everything has to be experienced. And I have watched a video today on the Dark Night of the Soul where it says that negative has to be experienced somehow so you can see the light. And
Yes.
also Infinite Water, the master, says that you cannot see the stars without darkness, right?
That's true.
So
And it is
everything has its purpose, I guess.
Yes. And in my experience, again, yes, the darkness that, from my perspective, did come from the collective unconscious, but I just drew upon as mine. As we gain more space in ourselves, within our inner awareness, and we have more awareness around what's mine and what's not mine, e.g.
Yeah.
my identity, my thoughts, my feelings, because we are just the witness, right? Like we're just the
Mm.
witness to these things. The less the unconscious, the collective human unconscious has an effect on us, and the less we claim it as ours. And in that sense, the less our dark side has an impact on our life.
Mm. Yeah.
Sometimes the grip to our dark side can be so strong, can't it? It's like we're strangely attached to our own limitations at times.
Yeah, somehow there's comfort in that panic
Yeah,
or in that fear, and
yeah,
that which is okay, right? It's
yeah,
okay
of
to be
course.
scared
Yeah,
sometimes.
absolutely.
And yeah,
Like
let
you
me
said,
tell you about my college experience.
okay.
So I went to college as a freak because I had my Kundalini, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was trying to impress everybody. I was so authentic until that point.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
no, yes, okay. Yeah.
I was trying to impress everybody with my Kundalini, my experience, my mind, everything, man. And something hit me. I think it was a mini dark night of the soul, which turned to be a big trauma for me
Yeah.
because I was hospitalized for 3 times in 1 year. And I actually thought that my mind was controlled by somebody else. And I had to do those things because I was feeling an impulse to do them, but I didn't really know how to control myself, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
it
understand.
turned out to be really dark. And from that experience, I have gained some self-control. Yeah, being a bit more equilibrated. Is that the word?
Liberated.
Equilibrium?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Equilibrated, yeah.
Well, I respect you getting
So,
honest and sharing that stuff, man.
hmm?
I
You
respect
say
you
what?
sharing that stuff.
Yeah. It was really hard for me. One of the hardest experience of my life. So,
Excuse me. I need to wipe my nose. Oh, okay. You can keep talking. I'm still listening. I just needed to wipe my nose.
just a second.
Okay, fair enough. I don't want the audience seeing like boogers.
I have some lemon with cucumbers, ginger, and something else. I don't know what it's called.
What is it? Tea? Is
Water.
it water? Oh, water.
It's just water. Leave it in the fridge overnight, and it's amazing. So lemons, cucumber, and ginger, and something else. I don't know what it's called in English, but do that. It's good.
Sounds wonderful.
Okay, if you want, of course. If you want to become masters like me and Jamie.
I'm not a master. I'm an
Me
idiot.
neither, man. I'm
I'm an
trying to
idiot.
get as simple as possible.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
Do you
that's
think?
where mastery lies, hey, in bringing simplicity back into our life.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But the fact that you want simplicity may make you more complicated, right? So
Well, maybe.
Osho talked about the desire behind the desire and how that being enlightened means letting go of all desire. And it's really hard to do because the moment that you want to let go of desire, that's also desire, right? So I
Well,
want to
yeah.
let go of desires, then I have desire to let go of desire. So it's like a circle. What do you think? Do you think it is anything wrong with today society and school systems and education?
Well, good
Do you
question.
study anything right now?
No, I did. I studied my law degree,
Oh,
and it got to the point where I was just learning how to pass the exams rather than learning the knowledge that I needed to become
yeah,
a lawyer, if that makes sense, because I just wanted the
it
best grades,
makes.
because
Yeah.
society puts a lot of hype and a lot of credence on having the best grades possible. So I just learned to pass the exams in the best way possible, but I never really learned the knowledge that I needed in order to become a lawyer. So I
Mm-hmm.
then worked in a law firm for a year and didn't enjoy it, because it was like I had to relearn everything again, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Somehow it makes. Yeah.
yes, I do. Obviously there are issues with the way that schools are made. Bear in mind, somebody said to me once that most of these schools were, what did they say? when we were back in, say, a few hundred years ago, and we were starting to build factories, maybe about 100 years ago or something, schools
Yeah.
were essentially made as like a conveyor belt for factory workers, if this makes sense. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether that's true. He said it so more eloquently than me. I've not done that saying any justice, but I think, to be fair, from my own experience, which is all I can talk about, I didn't gain much from the standard education because, like I say, I was just learning to pass exams. What do you feel?
I feel that it may be a good thing. At the same time, it may suck in a way that we are always preparing ourselves for the next level, you know. So you
Of
gotta go to
course, in that
school,
sense.
then you gotta go to high school, and somehow it programs your brain to always see in the future,
But
to always.
don't you find it programs your brain to not see life the way that life really is, and sort of programs your brain to see it from a consumerist perspective? Does this make
Yes,
sense?
and then the question becomes, then what life really is, and we don't really know, right?
Because we were never taught it in school.
Yeah.
And that's my only issue with it. We're coming up now because, for me, I was a broken person before Kundalini, and Kundalini has now taught me so much more about myself than school ever did. And
Mhm.
I'm sat there like, why is nobody teaching this stuff? Like, what's going on? Why are we not meditating in schools? Why is there not yoga in
Yeah.
schools? Like, what is
Yeah.
happening? Like, where's the intelligence? These people are meant to be the most
Mhm.
intelligent people, the politicians and that. And I'm like, oh my God, you actually have no intelligence. Are you even seeing what intelligence really is? Because you're not applying it into our school system. Yeah, that's a rant. I'm angry now. Not really.
At the same time, I see how people throw all of this hate on politicians, but I was thinking myself, what if we could go the other way around, to actually love them, to
That
actually send them our love, you know? I bet that something would change, actually.
I think it certainly would. Have you ever heard of a meditation called what's it called? Ho'oponopono?
Yeah, yeah. I forgive you, I love you, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is something
yeah, I
like
know
that.
that.
And there was a guy that did that in a prison system. He was one of the guards or something, and he did that within the prison system, and all of the prisoners began to change. And he was
Mhm.
just doing this meditation daily, 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 and everybody around him within the prison system began to change. Prisoners became kinder. They changed their attitudes, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's a very enlightened perspective that you just brought up, because potentially if we did send them love, or perhaps the Ho'oponopono
Yeah, yeah,
meditation,
yeah.
then en masse, if we all did it, then perhaps something would change. I only bring up my perspective about the negative perspective that I did because it does seem to me that they aren't serving us to the best of their ability.
They're not, yeah.
But that's not for me to say. I'm not here to critique. I'm
Me
just here
neither.
to live my life and do the best
Yeah.
job I can.
Use the tools that you got. That's so
Yeah.
important. That's so important. Let's go into the dark night of the soul topic, which is something that I may be familiarized with in a way, but I bet that you know more than me in this topic. And I'm actually feeling that I'm at the last step of spirituality where I'm actually going into it. I'm having some symptoms like indecision, sleep patterns changing, intense dreams, feeling out, feeling off a bit. What should I practice something during it, or should I just let go, or should I go to be disciplined and let go at the same time? What's your perspective?
It's up
This
to
is a
you.
personal question, so guys, sorry for.
And I can only give you my own perspective, having been through the
Yeah.
dark night of the soul. Do practice, do some sort. I mean, do you do, like, let me ask you a question. Do you do any spiritual practice? Do you meditate? Do you do yoga?
Yeah, I do, and my main practice is making videos.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
really love
So,
it.
and me too. And that shows from you, because you do some great stuff. But
Thanks.
you're welcome. And obviously I'm not saying my perspective is right, but it was right for me. If you can, and you feel the pull to do this, do start perhaps, having a look at some yoga or some strong breathing exercises, because they will begin to give you a greater awareness within yourself, so that when negative thoughts or negative ideas pop up in your consciousness, you'll see them as just that, a negative idea or a negative thought. And then you get the choice. If you are seeing these negative thoughts and being quite attached to them, you would then have the choice the more yoga you do, because it brings a bigger spatial awareness within yourself. You then get the opportunity to change the way you see things.
I see.
I don't know.
Man, I got something to tell you. I was so, let's say, addicted to my first Kundalini experience that after that, I just wanted to go back there, man.
Me too.
High five. I just wanted to go back there and live that for the rest of my freaking life.
Yes.
Because it was wow.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, living in another dimension, what the hell?
No.
The old Seba, which was, I don't know, having a mind of really going deep, right? He was deep, the old Seba. He was really deep. But
who's this?
The old Seba, the old me.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Sorry. Me before Kundalini, right?
Yeah.
I was deep. I was okay. And I was okay. No.
I'm still not okay. I've lost the plot over here. Carry on.
I'm okay, people. Please accept me. No. I am fine, please. Okay, so yeah, having that experience was, wow, an intense moment for me. What would you recommend for people who are not yet on the spiritual path, but also are curious about having a Kundalini experience, Kundalini awakening? Can they enhance that somehow?
From my perspective, I didn't have the Jamie before the Kundalini and the Jamie after. I had no idea, no concept, no intention. I wasn't even a spiritual person before this Kundalini awakening happened. And then in one moment, my life completely changed. So for me, I don't think, of course, there are things that I've learned now that you can do to increase the possibility,
the power.
For yourself within this realm of Kundalini. But yeah, all right. Well, if anybody wants a meditation, they can have a look at what's called spinal breathing, in which you breathe your breath up and down your spine, because really Kundalini is just that, the rising of this spiritual energy all the way up your spine. They say that your spine holds your karma.
Really?
Yeah. So, and as you do this spinal breathing meditation, it essentially clears the karmas so that you have a nice clear pathway for the Kundalini to rise. And as that happens, of course, your third eye opens, and then some cool things begin to happen, as I'm sure you're aware, some vivid dreams.
Yeah.
Some other things. So yeah, if they want to Google that, they can Google that.
So the first step is to believe it possible, right? Because so many people are questioning the idea of the third eye, and I don't really blame them. But while I was going nuts after going to college, I felt like sick on the inside, man, and I felt like really low. Yeah. And when I was trying to explain what was going on within myself, that I had an awakening and that I did all of these shitty things because I thought I was supposed to do them, nobody would believe me because of the consequences that of the things that I have done, right?
Yes.
So everybody was like, dude, you are sick, you are not normal, you, I don't know, go back to hospital, something like this. Not go back to hospital, but there is something wrong with you, right?
But you know that
And
that's not true, right?
I know that that's
Yeah.
not true, but my social identity somehow was really
Yes.
hit by
Yeah.
this.
I know. I
Was really
understand.
hit by this.
I understand.
And now that I'm talking about it, I see the positive point in it, because it was only my identity that was hit. It wasn't the real me, the
Yeah.
observer that was
Yes.
hit, right? Because
Yes.
I believe that we can take anything. We can really go through anything and still come out with more power and being really strong.
Yeah, we're a lot more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. There is this otherworldly, transcendent nature within us. And although the world can get very mean sometimes, we can then transcend the meanness.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think that it is necessary to have a traumatic experience for the Kundalini to rise?
I don't know. My
Traumatic?
experience is yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't.
mine too.
I pain led me to having the Kundalini experience. So much pain within me, and that led me to search for something else.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it needed to be painful. But then I was so lucky, and so I'm so grateful in the sense that hearing your story now, I had perhaps an insight or an intuition that sharing some of that stuff, especially at the early stage, especially after it just happened, would have led me to what you were led to, that social crushing. So I was so lucky in the sense that I got maybe perhaps a bit of guidance and didn't share with anyone. No, I literally lived two lives. I lived the Jamie on the outside.
Yeah.
Some of my friends are probably watching this and they're like, oh my God, I didn't even know who you were. But like, I was living this external Jamie that was trying to fit in after the Kundalini awakening, trying to go back to being the normal person. But inside I was like, my whole life has just changed. Like, I know things now that I never knew before. I'm not even the same guy. My identity isn't the same. I can't even draw back in my old identity. I'm now forced to make a new one. So yeah, I'm grateful I didn't tell anyone.
Good.
But it sounds like perhaps the experience that you had of telling people that led to this crushing of your social identity. Although
I believe it would be impossible for someone who didn't experience Kundalini to actually understand what Kundalini is, because it is so powerful and so pure and so truthful that only the experience can show you what it actually means, right? So you can't conceive it somehow mentally.
No, you can't.
No.
You maybe can get a flavor. Maybe a flavor for it, but it's not.
Maybe an image or something, or
maybe, but it's just a concept, isn't it? Like and that's not like we're saying you can't have this experience, because you can, but I don't know whether it's down to us, but who knows, man? Who knows? We're all just clueless, aren't we? Just walking along this life.
In conclusion, a good picking up line would be, I had a Kundalini awakening, girls. What's up? I'm crazy and I'm ready for you.
You're funny.
Thanks.
You have a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
So maybe you spoke about earlier. Sorry. You spoke earlier about spontaneity.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. So give me your perspective on that. Being spontaneous.
Spontaneity. I mean, being spontaneous. I believe that it's different for everybody. I believe that it is not attached to anything that we have learned. I mean, we have learned anything that we have learned socially.
Okay.
I think it's part of your higher self, your instincts, your higher consciousness, maybe. And I believe that relaxing will lead you to spontaneity, right? So I really love Osho, and he was talking about relaxing while in action. And I have learned during my journey, and I have seen that each time that I was stressed and was trying to go into action, I was only creating more of it, right? So the whole idea is to actually let go. If you feel like you can't do it now, you're not supposed to do it now, right? At the same time, going for your desires and leading from the heart, living from the heart is the main key to achieve success. But I guess when we have a Kundalini awakening, that success doesn't even matter anymore, because it really turns into being something spiritual. And at the same time, money, cars, women, they may be good, but success really changes, right?
Well, yes,
What is success for you? What is success for you?
The way that I defined success definitely changed.
Yeah.
However, I can't sit here and lie and say that cars, women, money, dream job doesn't mean anything to me, because it does.
It does.
Like
does.
what?
Yeah, it
like
does
come
for
on,
me too.
guys, we're human. Like
Yeah.
I want all of these nice things. I wouldn't turn my nose up at them. Yes, my definition of success has changed, though. I don't see those things as perhaps success, although on one level they are. On a societal level, people will look at you and say you're successful if this happens and you get these cars and nice, apartment by the sea or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a good question, actually. You've put me on the spot. How do I define success? I think success for me really now is how successful can you be at how much
Embracing
pain,
yourself.
how much pain can you take and still get softer and kinder as a person?
Mm-hmm. Because why do you want all the money? Why do you want all the women? The answer to everything is to be happy, right?
Yeah.
But we can get happy before we get those things. So now it's way easier to attract them, right? I'm living in the moment. I'm thinking about it, but I'm feeling comfortable while I'm thinking about it. I'm feeling comfortable about thinking that I'm making more money. I'm feeling comfortable thinking that, I don't know, the girl that I like likes me. And even if she doesn't, I can easily slap her. I'm kidding. I'm going too far.
I know you are.
Going too far.
So for me, when because my whole life has just really begun to change in the society's definition of success. Like from the state of being, if we're coming from a positive state of being, success is then naturally attracted to that.
Mm-hmm.
If you can pull the positives out of every negative situation from a positive mindset, weird things start happening. I don't know. Do you know anything about the law of attraction?
Yeah, some things. I know that you attract how you feel.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And most of us aren't always feeling great, are we? Even if we're in the spiritual field, we're perhaps faking it sometimes. We're like, oh yeah, life's great, when really on the inside we're hurting.
Mm-hmm.
So as we do more yoga, this is just my experience, as I do more yoga, as I do more meditation, more spinal breathing,
Mm-hmm.
My internal state of being changes. There is so much less negativity in my life now than when the Kundalini began. And through that positivity, strangely, you then start meeting like-minded people like yourself.
Exactly.
And then things start happening, because I'll just give you an experience I had yesterday. Out of the blue, I got introduced to somebody who is now going to be my first private client for yoga.
Okay.
Very successful, very, very successful man who has a lot of contacts that are also very successful people.
Okay.
Now, through my meditations, I've been setting goals and setting wants and aspirations for what I want from life. And now seemingly somebody in my life, because my state of being has changed inside, that I met randomly, brings an opportunity into my life with which I can start manifesting this crazy stuff that I really want.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So
can you share what the opportunity is, or is it too personal?
it's just, for now, it's just yoga.
Okay.
I'm going to be teaching him one-on-one going into the near future. And then potentially we'll see what goes from there.
Yeah. I have a personal question. So now that I am having these dark night of the soul symptoms, is it gonna take everything from me? Am I gonna have to die spiritually? Is my ego going? Because I'm not scared of it, and somehow I want it, because let's just end everything and go back to the first Kundalini.
Yeah. Well, for me,
what was your experience?
For me, the dark night of the soul will change your identity. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This whole spiritual journey for me, and the whole lesson that I've learned from the Kundalini, is not about the experience, because the experience happened in front of your consciousness, didn't it? As the witness, you witnessed that experience. So that can't really be what we're looking for. Although it was amazing, can't really what we're looking for, is it? Because it's not really who we are if it's happening in front of us. Make sense?
Yeah.
The dark night of the soul will essentially, through pure insight alone, because you can't ever see yourself as the witness, can you? But through pure insight of your own, will just begin to, the more practice you do, begin to show you as a feeling sense who you are. You become so grounded in the witness space, because to attach to anything in front of the witness space could cause you pain. And when you felt enough pain from attaching to these things, you won't bother anymore. And then where are you? Well, you're in your seat of who you really are. Things can still happen in front of you that we might call ego, and maybe another Kundalini experience might happen. But you'll then know, so safe in the knowledge of who you really are, that I don't need to attach to these things anymore, because as we know from our experience, they do cause us pain, whether that be a thought, whether that be emotions, whether that be the wanting of another Kundalini experience that's actually not in our control anyway.
Yeah. Have you ever tried drugs?
Yep. I used to chase drugs. After the Kundalini experience, I used to do lots of silly things to try and recreate that experience that I had seemingly lost.
Yeah.
And
me too, actually.
Well, sometimes you just have to get honest, and because I remember going through this experience, it must have been similar for you. You're alone, aren't you? There wasn't any of this stuff, really. But like, we're coming out, we're like the next wave, if this makes sense, of people sharing, right? There wasn't any of this when we were there. There might have been some actual guru teachers that were in India that you'd listen to some satsangs or whatever, and they'd perhaps talk a little bit about it, but barely. I've forgotten your question. I just jump around.
Tried drugs? Have you ever tried drugs?
Yes. And obviously, they are never going to say that they've done drugs, because they're gurus, they're proper teachers. They're like, oh, no, of course I've never. But So you can, perhaps I felt alone, and I felt like something was wrong with me because I was doing drugs to try and chase this experience. Oh, that's so not spiritual. Oh, I'm not good enough for this, or whatever. So I just have to be honest and say, yeah, I did. One of my videos mentions it. I'm like, yeah, sometimes I did chase that high, the high, the Kundalini brain.
Yeah. Well, drugs. Do you think they're good or bad? Or is it good or bad? I think
Yeah, I don't know.
it depends.
I don't know. It depends on.
There are spiritual drugs like mushrooms, LSD.
Oh God. See, I was speaking to somebody else the other day. Have you done hallucinogenics?
Yeah, but not much. I just
So
tried them.
Yeah. So I once did. Oh God, can we put this on the internet? Fuck it, yeah, we can.
Sure,
I
guess. We can.
If my mum and dad see this, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Jamie, you idiot." I'll just hope they won't, and if they do, screw it. I took a mushroom once, and it made me feel horrible. I didn't like it. I did it with my friend, and he felt horrible too. I don't know whether we got a bad batch or what, but we were both there like, I am never doing this again. The thing was with the mushrooms, it goes on for so long. It's like a 8-hour thing, maybe more. It was
8
hell.
to 12.
Yeah, it was hell. So no, I won't be doing that again. Hallucinogens they're not for me. What about you?
Well, I have tried all kind of things.
Oh, me too. I've tried all kind of things. But...
From hallucinogens to MDMA speed. I don't know. Mom, Dad, please no. Don't hear this. They actually know about it. I have told them, or I have told them. I have told them, right?
Told them, yeah. You could.
Yeah.
Your English is good, by the way. Sorry, I should have complimented you on that earlier. I forget you're from Romania.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the drug experience was really to fill a void, right?
Yes. So that's when you asked earlier if you thought drugs were good or bad. But it depends on the intention.
Yeah, the intention is necessary, right? You can have a spiritual intention with hallucinogens.
Yeah, and that's fine. I see that as fine.
Yeah.
But if you go in with the intention to avoid or to escape your reality because the pain of it is too much, then that's unhealthy. And no judgment, because I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there too. So I have actually been contacted, I don't know if it's the right word to say, by my higher self while on MDMA.
Haunted?
No, not haunted, contacted. In a way that I didn't know that it was me, but I thought it was an external thing. And he or she actually responded to that. So I'm here to guide you, look. And I saw a mental image of him in other people, trying to show me that you are other people, right? You are the whole, you are the universe. So it was a fun experience. I'm getting smoother with my higher self now. I'm realizing that it is me.
It is you.
It is me, right?
And how amazing is that? I just got chills. I'm like,
so
it is
amazing.
You. And you're like, oh, I'm fucking powerful. Not this guy, but the energy that flows through me.
Yeah.
Wow, we're all so powerful.
Yeah. I love myself, man.
Yeah.
I really love myself.
No,
and I
that's
love
good. Because that takes a while, doesn't it? And obviously that's reciprocated to you as well. But it takes a while, doesn't it? Especially after the Kundalini and your world's literally been thrown apart and you've been essentially put into hell after what was such a blissful experience. It is a roller coaster. And really, we speak about why we created these YouTube channels. This is why I created a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because I know how hard it is, and I want to be able to help people that go through the same experience that we've been through, so that they don't have to feel as much pain that we did. Of course, I can't do the work for them. They have to do the work afterwards to purify their system.
What was the work for you? What does it mean, the work for you?
Yoga,
Okay.
every day, every single day, about an hour a day. I still do this every day. And that, for me, made the process very quick. Very, very quick.
Nice.
And you?
So at the end, what does the work mean for me?
Yeah.
I actually go for my desires.
Yeah.
And questioning myself. I don't know, still questioning myself up until this point, because I have so many weird thoughts still that, like you said, I don't really believe that they are coming from myself. I believe that they are coming from the collective.
Yes.
Or from a past karmic experience or something, or
perhaps
illusions. There are all kind of illusions. Like I said before, when I was in college, I thought that my mind was controlled by somebody else. And I got to the understanding that it was just me.
Yeah.
I was creating that whole experience, right?
Yes. And did you learn something from it?
Of course.
What did you learn?
Not try to control other people's minds.
Okay.
Because when I was going crazy, I was still somehow powerful from that first Kundalini explosion. And I still had a lot of energy, but something was killing me. I don't know what it was, but something was putting fists and I don't know, things inside of myself that I couldn't really control. And the thing is that while I wanted so much to control it after it happened, I believe that I had to experience those things because I was so shameful about my identity after that happened. And as a kid, I was afraid. I was shameful as a kid. And I believe that it taught me to really have a better look on yourself.
Well, that's the same for me. I was always the weird kid at school.
Yeah.
I was always the weird kid. Like, I think I was just, I don't know, I think people were just friends with me, like, out of pity. They're like, oh, it's the fucking weird one, here he is. But, you know, that was just my experience of it. It was a weird old childhood. But obviously now, I suppose I'm still weird in that definition, but...
Weird is fine. Weird is hot for some girls, I don't know.
Of course. But, you know, you can only be yourself, right? You can't...
Yeah.
Because I tried being somebody else and faking it, and then you really do come off as weird, and it hurts you. And I'm sat here, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not about that anymore. And that's what Kundalini taught me.
Nice.
And then we become really sane.
Yeah. And one thing for everybody who is watching this is the fact that we and you and me should understand that we perceive this world subjectively. That's super important. So everything that we say here is only our subjective experiences.
So just a perspective.
It's just perspective. It's not everybody's truth. It may be not your truth. You don't have to judge us. You can judge us, and because you can judge us because we have our Kundalini and we can get touched by anything.
Well, if people are going to judge, my channel isn't really a space for that. I haven't seen any. There was one thing that I saw that I think got reported by somebody else anyway, and then it got removed from the channel. I literally it has been overwhelmingly positive, the response to the stuff that we're putting out. So maybe if we're judging, if we're getting judgments, then perhaps on some level we're judging ourselves, right? And that's something.
Come again?
Perhaps if we're receiving judgment from people, then on some level we're allowing that in because we're judging ourselves.
Yes, exactly. So the moment that you stop judging other people is the moment that you also stop judging yourself. So in a way, I have realized that the moment I have stopped judging other people is like the moment I have stopped judging myself, and that happened in the first step of the Kundalini. Then I got thrown out, and I have started to judge myself again.
But then that's the journey,
But
isn't it? That's the
yeah,
journey.
that's the journey. That's the
Life
journey.
life wants to make us strong.
Yeah.
And this is a really effective way of it doing that, because the Kundalini makes you listen,
Hmm.
because it throws you so far out of whack that you have no other option but to listen.
Yep.
And then, anyway, how long have we been going for?
I don't know. I don't see the time. Do you have the time?
15:10, so nearly an hour. So I think probably we close it there, because it's been an amazing
Yeah.
conversation. But otherwise,
Thank you.
we're
Thank you,
not
bro.
going to be able to upload it anywhere because the file size will be too big.
I don't think so. You can on YouTube at least.
But I mean for WeTransfer for us, so that we can see it
Oh,
personally.
yeah. I would like to visit London one day. Maybe I'll meet you there.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Are you from London?
No, I'm down south. But yeah, that would be cool. It'd be awesome, because I've
Yeah.
had a few people contacting me and being like, we should meet up. Like, let's do this. And I don't know whether I'm there yet, but soon I will be. Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing that we could all do.
Okay. So guys,
There'll be loads of us.
if
I'm sure.
yeah,
Loads of people
guys,
with
if you're
similar
not,
minds, though. Loads of people that are going through these experiences, and I'm meeting so many of them now, and I've never met them before. Like, I never knew so many amazing people existed that have had the same experience that I've had. And now we're starting to see them, and it's cool. So yeah, a meetup is potentially on the horizon.
I would love it. And for the people who are not in the spiritual journey,
Welcome.
we are waiting for you. Welcome.
I'm not waiting. I'm just getting on with my life, doing the best I can. You do you.
The whole planet is actually shifting, and all kind of things are possible, from extraterrestrials to going out of body to anything. And I wish you good luck, everybody, on anything that you do.
Subscribe to Seba.
Yeah, please.
He's great.
Subscribe to Jamie too. Okay, mate. Thank you.
No, thanks for that. It's good. The conversation flowed. It was really easy.
Yeah.
It was like I've known you for years. And that seems to be the way that it is with people. It's just nice, isn't it? Like,
what are these called? Almonds? Almonds, right?
I don't know. Pistachio.
Almond?
Yeah, almond.
Yeah, okay, so almond in your juice with cucumbers, lemon, and ginger.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Anyway,
let's keep talking on Facebook, and I'm waiting for the next meeting, the next call, right?
I think I might do something like this every week. See if I can find some people to do something like this with me every week. That could be cool.
Maybe you could connect me to them as well.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
We could create a community of awesome people.
Yeah, it would work. Let's create a Facebook page.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier. Look at this. Cool. All right, we'll do that then. We'll create a Facebook page.
Yeah. What should we call it?
I don't know.
Returning back to the first step of Kundalini.
we can have a chat.
Yeah, let's do that.
We can brainstorm some things. Anyway, for now, Seba, really good to meet you.
I have to click leave meeting.
You do, yeah. Bear with me. Let me stop recording first, though. Bye, guys.
Okay. Bye, guys.
How do I do it?